Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. It is Thursday, November 24th, 2022, and tonight I'll be covering paranormal news. As always, you can find all the episodes of the show along with links to social media and other ways to contact me at the podcast page, and that is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions or stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to share those either by reading them or having you join me on the show to talk about them. And so tonight is the last regular show of the week. Saturday will be a special bonus show, and then Sunday we'll start another week of shows after that. So Saturday, the Saturday show will be the same time as the other shows, and we'll go from there. So, and I've already talked about that, so looking forward to that as well. Then Sunday will be True Paranormal Stories from the Web, as will Tuesday. And then Monday and Thursday will be Paranormal News. And Wednesday will be a look into the afterlife according to Greek mythology, and worldviews and all that. Sort of continuing that series that I started quite a while ago now, on the ancient world and the afterlife and paranormal, and how all those might interact. So I didn't forget about that series. It's just everything else, other things came up along the way, and but that will be continued whenever possible. And so yeah, that's the plan for this next week. And of course, for tonight's show, all the links to the articles that I'm going to talk about are in the stream chat here, and I will include those links in the episode description as well, both on the podcast and YouTube feeds. Because I just basically summarize these articles, so you'll want to check those out for the full details and the video and images that are also in those articles that I do not share directly on the show because this is just an audio show. Camera as a video is a whole other thing I don't really want to try to set up. So, so I think that's everything. So let me get to these stories here. This first one is from dailystar.co.uk. And this one, the title says, "Massive black ring appears in sky, sparking fears alien UFOs are here," of course, they say. And this is actually in another part of the world. This is in Singapore. And it's basically as it says, this dark ring appeared in the sky. And of course there's many suggestions as to what it was, including fireworks discharge, something to do with the after effects of the smoke of these fireworks, even though it doesn't say for sure that there were fireworks going off that night or that day. But I always wonder when it comes to these rings, because especially if they're, this one appears to be have an odd shape to it. It's not quite, doesn't appear to be a solid ring. It has kind of sides to it as well. So I wonder what that's about. But just quite the weird thing to see in the sky. And apparently it was seen in this area a few years prior to this as well. Other suggestions were of a flock of birds that were migrating somewhere. But they point out in the article here that that would be unusual, and I don't know for sure, but they say it'd be unusual for birds to fly in a circle like that. And I have to say, I've never heard of that before either. So I don't know for sure, but still just odd. Can't imagine seeing that in the sky like that and having that appear twice now and within about 3 to 5 years. So neat sighting. If you want to consider it is something other than just fireworks or birds, makes you wonder what it is and what it's made of. And so I just wanted to share that with you all. Goes over more details here a little bit in the article. So, and it has pictures. So I definitely recommend checking that one out for yourself. Um, excuse me. So let me see. Lamas Fina says, seen this black ring thing going around a lot lately. I hadn't noticed it a lot myself, but that is I wasn't aware of that. So that's I wonder what the cause is for that. That's interesting. But yeah, so just wanted to share that article and see what you all think. But so I wonder about that in terms of what it's made of, and then if it's if there's anything in the middle of the ring that we just don't or can't see. Um, so just all those kinds of questions come to mind with this one. So this next article is let me see here. It's from SundayWorld.com. And this says Tipperary woman, I'm guessing that's the area, captures photo of strange orb that may be UFO in back garden. And so this is apparently a light that was hovering in the sky that this witness saw um, just outside of Cashel a few months ago, it says. Um, so looking at it has pictures as well. And but the odd thing about this that kind of made me think about sharing it is it was a blue light. And of course, I had saw a blue light several times a while back. So I'm always interested in these kinds of stories. And so looking at the rest of the article here, apparently even the dog was looking up at it that was with the woman here. So the witness here. So and they have pictures. Let's see here. And I'm not sure. Apparently, there are some pictures in this article of just the sky. Apparently, the dog was barking up at the light as well. Um, so let's see here. And so yeah, apparently it goes on to say that this this witness didn't see or hear anything, and they actually were taking pictures of the moon when they saw this light in the sky in the picture. That's odd as well. So looking at the rest of this here, and looking at the rest of this, it says it appeared on um 3 different phones, so it's not the phone either. They say so. Just a odd thing there because when I tried to take a picture of the light that was near me, it would not show up. But yeah, so neat sighting. Apparently, she's had this witness has had experiences before, which is always something to keep in mind. Of course, there's varying opinions on what that means, but yeah. So really neat article here and about a sighting, and of a blue light in the sky. So I always like to share those. And let's see here. Looking at the chat. Oh, there we go. There's hello, Derek. Sharing a good X-Men picture here in the chat. But that's pretty neat. That's a neat holiday inspired cover, comic book cover. Let me see here. Yeah, gotta love those blue light sightings. Yeah, it's apparently it does pop up here and there, so that's pretty neat. So this next one here, excuse me, I'm all stuffed up, unfortunately. But this one is from WIBX.com. And this one says, was there a UFO sighting in Rome, New York, yesterday? And this is from, let's see here. I'm trying to find a date on this, but I'm guessing it was within this last month or so. Excuse me. And apparently, this started from some social media comments, and apparently people were seeing a very shiny metallic object in the sky. Someone said they saw it very briefly and it vanished really quick, but left a little white line in the sky. So that's amazing. So apparently they saw a couple of these white lines in the sky. So I'm wondering if they mean they're referring to it just zipping around and making those lines. I don't know. But let me see here. So yeah, just apparently these. So they're saying it might have been two shiny metallic objects that people were seeing in different parts of the same area of the sky in the same area. Excuse me. And so yeah, had a lot of people talking about this, and of course I'm saying there's probably a logical explanation for it. And then of course not long after this happened, or at least the sighting happened in relation to this when this article came out, there were helicopters seen in the areas as well. So yeah, a lot of text here to read from a lot of comments, and but yeah, just some possible sighting of some silver UFOs over in New York. So wanted to share that one as well. And that's the last of the UFO articles for the night. I have a couple of haunting kind of or ghost or paranormal activity sightings here to share to end out the show. This next one is from jhnewsandguide.com. And the title of this is Spooky Tales of a Haunted Jackson House. And this is apparently from a reporter who had someone tell them about this place in this general area. And it's basically stories of a house that appeared to be haunted, just a regular house, nothing historical as far as it's not famous, but so just basically a haunted house story. And it's about this witness who had an uncle that bought this house and renovated it. And apparently when they bought the house, they were informed that there had been murders that took place there. But but they didn't really pay attention to, they didn't really believe, I guess, in the paranormal at that point too much. But not long after they moved in, they started having activity where when they would come back home from being out, all the cabinet doors are found open in the kitchen. And also there were plates that were almost set like for dinner there are plates in front of each of the chairs in the dining room table. So that's amazing. Makes you wonder. I've seen little bits and pieces of things in TV over the years that play off this idea that there are two families that live in a home, and sometimes they just interact, and one is in one dimension and one is in another. But so let's see here. Looking at more, they say that there was one case where when the one of the children dropped Cheerios on the floor, the storyteller's aunt, so the wife of the man that bought the house, when she went to get the broom, she turned around and found it standing on its own directly behind her. Can you imagine having that happen where you actually need something and it just is there? That's amazing. Also, kind of ironic in a way that it's a standing broom, which is something that I have been told by friends can happen if you set it up just right. But still, who set it up? That's the thing. But looking at the rest of this year, there are reports of toys, electronic toys, that were turned on by themselves and even pushed toward her by invisible forces, or pushed toward the aunt by invisible forces. And let's see here. Apparently, there was this storyteller's cousin was said to be able to see. Apparently, I'm guessing they must have told their parents. They said they could see a woman because the aunt and uncle said that the baby was always waving and smiling at someone at the top of the stairs where a woman's room used to be. So just sounds like a lot of activity there. And says that the family eventually got used to it, but the encounters never stopped the entire time they were there, and they only lived there for just a few years before building a bigger house and moving there and moving out of that house. So, neat story there of a haunted house. I definitely recommend checking it out for all the details. And I love those stories of places that you don't hear about because they're not famous, but they're just reports of activity in different places. So definitely check that one out as well. And I have one more article here for you all. This is from mirror.co.uk. And this says spooky footage shows ghost opening doors in haunted Newcastle library. And this is in the UK, I believe. And apparently there's this this video that appears to show a door opening in a library. I always think about libraries and wonder, if you think about it, if you don't need food or water and you just have unlimited time, why wouldn't you want to go and stay in the library? If you could access just all the information in a library, that seems like the perfect place to go to just kind of relax and be somewhere and still be able to access information and learn things. But maybe that's just me. So this is just a story about that, about a group of paranormal investigators that had this video that they captured, and just wanted to share that with you all to check it out as well for more possible evidence of the paranormal. So definitely read that article in full and check out the images and video there. So that's all I have for tonight. But thank you all for for being here and listening. And hopefully, um, hopefully you all enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun to check these out, and I found these literally this morning. So maybe a long lost librarian checking out her books. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So no, I always like libraries. I think they're amazing. I think there should be more focus on libraries, to be honest. But anyway, um, yeah, no problem. Thank you all for being here and for being in the chat as well. And again, the next time I talk to you all will be on Saturday with a special guest, Jen, um, who has done shows with me before, and we'll be talking about the Grim Reaper. So looking forward to that. That'll be Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'll talk to you then on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care, everyone, and have a great night.